Hi, and welcome back to another Law Firm Success Story episode. Now, today we have a great guest on. Now, many of you may recognize this guest as soon as he starts talking or as soon as you hear his name mentioned. If you're on Facebook, you have definitely seen this guest before from some of the awesome things that he's sharing and the awesome posts. So, without further ado, Jay, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a pleasure for me because I think not only from your own experience, but from so many other lawyers that you interact with, you're probably constantly seeing success stories here and there. So I'm very interested to hear what you have to share and wanted to talk about work-life balance. So the way we usually start this off is tell us about how things look now in your firm and the way you approach the legal industry, and then we'll take a step back in time and talk about how you got to where you are today. So how do things look for you now?
So things for me right now are great. I've got a leadership team that reports to me, and I really over the last year and a half, 2 years, restructured in a manner that has seemingly really worked out. I stole some ideas after having attended a fireproof conference and really working through the challenges. My practice is criminal defense. And so we were trying to find a way because criminal defense is more labor intensive on the lawyer than virtually any other area of law practice. I can't have paralegals doing things because I need lawyers standing next to people in court. And I have a higher number of lawyers, but I also have exceptional paralegals that have been with me for a long time. And so we flipped the thing on its head. And instead of making the lawyers in charge of themselves, we actually made a pod system where I have long-standing paralegals that run everything for me. And so one of the things we interview when we bring people in is like saying to a lawyer, you're going to be working for a paralegal. And the ones who buy into that love it. And we've got a great culture, and we've got people who are like, I love having my paralegal in charge of my schedule and telling me where to go and where to be, and I can just be a lawyer. We've really transitioned over the last 2 years, and that has allowed me to really get free. And that's what I love. I love having the freedom of really only having to work one morning a month and then 1 hour a week after that. It's pretty nice.
Awesome. I love it. And that's amazing you say that because that's not something you usually hear from criminal attorneys. You usually don't hear them talking about work-life balance and
Right.
criminal defense because when it comes down to criminal defense, like you said, it's very lawyer intensive. So now I want to take a step back in the time of how did things look when you first started, and then that journey, how did it unfold to the point where you did get comfortable and decide we're going to have this leadership team in place and getting to the point where, hey, like you said, you can work a lot less and enjoy other things that you're doing in life.
So it's really interesting because I started out as just your typical criminal defense lawyer, hustling in the morning, hustling in the hallways at the courthouse, and trying to figure out how to earn a living doing this. And I was lucky. My father was a criminal defense lawyer, although he was a tactician, not a business owner, not an entrepreneur, and certainly not a CEO type. But I had some foundation. And so what I did was I would work my 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 handling cases in court in the afternoons, figuring out my intakes and doing all my intakes in the afternoon. Then I'd come home as a single guy, I'd walk my dog, have some dinner, and then I'd sit down and I'd do the marketing. So I was doing operations, sales, and marketing every day. And it was a 7 day a week job. And it was exhausting, mentally exhausting. And I did that for a number of years. And it wore on me. And I kept saying to myself, there's going to come a point in the future where I'm not going to want to work these many hours. But I kept saying to myself as a young lawyer, what can I do to make more money? How can I streamline my operations so that I can take more cases, provide the same level of service? How can I expand where I'm servicing my clientele, open up new courts, new geographic areas? How can I make more money? Was it hiring somebody? Was it making my systems better and all that stuff? And then probably about 10 years ago, I transitioned from how can I make more money to how can I make more time? Because I knew that I can always make more money, but you can never make more time. And so I started to delegate more And there were fits and starts, and there were people I delegated to that I did a bad job delegating to. There were people that I brought in to help me with certain things, and I didn't let go of the reins like I should have. But over this process and through the blessing of COVID, I guess, it allowed us to really think about what we wanted and where we want to go from there as a firm. And I really enjoyed my time at home with my kids during COVID. I didn't like the fact that I felt like the business was falling apart, but it's important for me to have dinner with my kids as many nights as a week as possible. It's important for me to be able to pick up my kids at practice or coach them or just be able to be with them. And so all along, I've been trying to build a firm that appreciates that and gives the balance. And now I'm blessed because having developed those systems and either hired or promoted from within the right people, I have a situation now where I can work 40 hours a week if I choose to, or I could work 5 hours a week if I choose to. And I have the luxury of deciding what I'm working on at any one time. And it took me 25 years. I'm 25 years a lawyer as of next week, but it took me a while to get there. And I think the main takeaway to get me there was I realized a decade ago, I couldn't be the best at everything at the same time. I could be the best DUI trial lawyer. I could be the best criminal defense CEO. I could be the best non-vendor legal marketer, but I couldn't do it all. And so I had to be prepared to say, I'm going to focus on this area and not on this area, bring in the right people, and the rest is our success story.
Nice. I love it. And it's exactly why I think so many people do pay attention to the post and the things that you share and all of the mastermind conversations, because I think there's so much wisdom in that. If people are interested in learning more about your post, the things that you're doing, the different communities that you're running, where's the best place for them to look to find you online?
So obviously I'm on LinkedIn like every other lawyer, although there's not a lot of criminal lawyers on LinkedIn because that's not our people. We hang out with street people more who aren't on LinkedIn. But you can find me in the Law Firm Blueprint. That's the Facebook group that we have. A couple thousand lawyers in that group. We have a podcast and a live video show, myself and Seth Price, every Thursday, 3 p.m. So if you're interested in that, you can join us. If you're a criminal defense lawyer and want to get into a very small community, I have the Criminal Mastermind, which is my criminal defense lawyer only mastermind program. And we always bring in subject matter experts to teach us the things that we need to know. And I developed that really for two reasons. One, I love giving back and I love helping bad business owner criminal defense lawyers get better at running their business so they're not stressed all the time, because a lot of us criminal defense lawyers are, I don't want to say bleeding heart, but social worker type people. We take cases for less money than we should and do more work than we possibly can get paid for because we want to fight and help people. So I developed that mastermind program and we really limit it to just criminal defense lawyers so that those people can get the lessons that they need to be better at running their job. So if you can't find me online, I would be surprised. I post constantly. I'm always put my opinion. And I think there's a bit of being honest. I have no problem being honest and sharing where I've screwed things up. And I know that comes from a position of confidence now, having been through it. But I want to be like Johnny Appleseed. The more I can help people, the better I feel.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And I think it's just such an amazing thing because I think about criminal defense lawyers and the role that they play in our society and the role that they play for so many people. Is they're running an unhealthy law firm. They're not going to be able to provide the best quality service to their clients. So I think what you're doing is awesome. So Jay, thank you so much for coming on. And to everyone, thank you for listening and continue to listen to more law firm success stories because these stories will help you on your journey towards your goals. So Jay, thanks for coming on.
Carol, thank you so much for having me.